So really it's a simple message that I want to deliver here today. And I'll point back to the slide that Randy had at the beginning of his presentation with the large check. That's what it's about, right? It's your money. We want to figure out how to get that money back into your hands. So that's me. Here's what I'm going to talk about, but just an overview of some of our programs and a few case studies with opportunities we think that we've seen that you could be thinking about. But really, we can help you with any project that saves energy, saves electricity. That's what we're here for. And I just want to acknowledge two of my colleagues, Dennis Flores and Ian Robertson, in the audience here. So these are real experts. Come talk to them. Any projects that you're thinking about, they can help you. They can help turn that project into an application, help you save money. So why is Toronto Hydro doing this? We've moved from 2011 to 2014 funding framework. We're transitioning now into a 6-year funding framework, which provides stability. So these incentives that you're seeing today in the marketplace, they're going to continue. There's going to be new programs, but we appreciate that there's a long planning horizon for a lot of the projects that you're considering, and so these incentives will be there to help you. So work with us, communicate with us, and we can help you. So it's a long-term 6-year plan. Sorry, I didn't realize these all had transitions on them. Let me just get them all up on screen. So our targets have effectively doubled from the previous framework. Right, so we've achieved quite a bit in conservation from 2011 to 2014. We're going to have to work twice as hard to meet these targets, and this is quite important to us. And I should say I recognize not everybody here is from Toronto. So these are province-wide incentives. So it'll have Toronto branding. And if you're from out of province, chances are these types of incentives are available in your jurisdiction. So really, you should be speaking to your local utilities anytime you're working on retrofit projects. What's out there? So, and the last point, I'm quite happy to be on a panel here with Enbridge as well. So the collaboration with gas companies is something I think traditionally we haven't done particularly well. And so going forward, I think that's something that we're going to have a lot more emphasis on. So when one of us is speaking to a customer, we can be knowledgeable about both programs and help you access all the incentives working together. So really all I want to say about this slide is from a customer perspective, it's going to be a seamless transition, right? So we're moving from this 2011 to 2014 framework. 2015 is an interim transition year. The programs are continuing that were in the previous framework. And at some point we're going to transition customers into the new funding framework, into the new program. But from your perspective, it should be seamless, and that's what we're here to help manage that process for you. So you see this first generation programs. These are the old programs. The lawyers have reformatted the language, but they're effectively the same programs. You're going to see new programs starting in 2016, and that's what we're currently working on. So province-wide through the ISO working group. So these new programs will be in market starting in 2016. And in parallel, we're also working on pilot programs, which we hope will become full programs. And so they might be regional, they might be specific to Toronto, or there might be a case to roll that pilot program up to a full province-wide program. And I'll share one example of one of the programs that we're working on currently. So audit funding, very simply, you can get up to 50% of the cost of an audit. It's paid on basis of square footage, so 10 cents a square foot, up to $25,000 for a standard ASHRAE Level 2 audit. There's also, and I've called out on the right-hand side, if you want to do more focused audit on a particular building system, so hydronic balancing as your distribution systems in the building, that's often an example people look at, or a lighting audit. There is up to $5,000 for a more focused audit if you want to really drill down, look at a particular system within your building. So we can work with you on either, depending on where you are in your planning process. Retrofit program. This is really the core of our program, and it's flexible to accommodate basically any energy efficiency technology that you're considering. So we pay on the basis of kilowatts, so your demand or your yearly consumption. There's a different rate for lighting versus non-lighting projects, recognizing lighting is a bit of the low-hanging fruit. So $800 per kilowatt or 10 cents a kilowatt hour for a non-lighting project, or half of that for lighting projects. You can see on the right-hand side just some examples of the different types of projects that you might want to consider. And I'll share a few case studies. So it's capped at up to 50% of your project cost. There's a few different streams you can participate, so we have a number of worksheets, prescriptive worksheets that have a standard fixed incentive, very easy to fill out. You just share information on the particular technology that you're looking at. It has to be from a recognized, so if it's lighting, it has to be DLC compliant or Energy Star compliant. So there's certain prescriptive performance specifications that have to be met. Very easy to participate. There's also an engineered path. So if you want to customize the application to enter more information about your building operating hours and the type of equipment you can use, that can drive higher incentives as well. And there's a custom path for anything that we don't have a worksheet template for. So again, it's fully flexible. So we have tools that can help you fit that project into the incentive, so you can help you access that money. Oh, so this is helpful. Just slide is here just to make the point that there are a number of opportunities in your building, so that can get you an incentive. Anything as small as anything that generates savings as small as 1,000 kilowatt hours, so $100 incentive you're eligible for. So for context, that might be a single refrigerator. Might be a 20-year-old model might be consuming 1,500 kilowatt hours. A new model might consume 400 to 450. So a project that small would be eligible for an incentive, technically. I mean, obviously, we hope that you do larger projects. So we just want you to have this in mind, that any project, small or large, that you're considering, we can help you get that money. It might not be a big check, it might be a little check to start with, but we'd like to work with you on all those opportunities. Existing building commissioning. So if you have chilled water system, cooling tower, there's a commissioning program that can help you through all stages of the process. So from the initial scoping to the more detailed design work, and then the actual retrofit of the equipment and commissioning. So $800 per kilowatt, or 10 cents a kilowatt hour. And it's up to 50% of the project cost. And so this is a really program that helps you through the entire process and provides financial support at each stage. So if you're working on any of those projects, again, come talk to us. Process and systems. So this is typically a program that's more for the industrial sector, but we are actually seeing in the multi-residential sector a lot of interest in combined heat power systems, and that's where this type of system. So people looking at their emergency backup, their generators for their building. Many are considering combined heat power systems, so not only helping with that underlying reliability issue, but helping address emergency preparedness issues. So up to 40% of that capital cost would be eligible through the process and systems upgrade. So there's a study required for combined heat power. There are a number of technical approvals, so it's not as simple as participating in the retrofit program. There are a number of technical approvals that are reliability, system capacity planning colleagues at Toronto Hydro will have to look at to make sure there's sufficient grid capacity to absorb that system. But there are incentives available. So if this is something you're considering, and it is typically a very long planning horizon, so come talk to us early in the process so that we can make you aware of what's actually going to be required and connect you with the right people to start the process. This is that example I wanted to share about a pilot program that we're working on, and we're quite excited about this. We think it's going to be a real winner, and we're going to be able to roll this out very seamlessly into a full program. So we're looking at hydronic balancing systems, so your hot and cold water distribution system within your building. And this is actually we're piloting a direct install model where we're going to pay for an audit and the installation of the equipment. So entirely at our own cost, because we think the savings are going to be so substantial. So we're looking at around 10 buildings. We're going to be doing this work this fall, doing our measurement verification to determine that the savings that we think are going to be there are actually there, and then we're hoping by 2016 we're going to be able to roll this into a full program that's available to all of our customers. The pilot's focused on larger equipment, so typically 20-25 horsepower pumps. So if you have buildings with pumps of that size, start thinking about this opportunity, and we're hoping that we can bring this to you. And I just want to throw in a couple case studies as well. So lighting, obviously, I said it's the low-hanging fruit. I know it's a condominium, not an apartment, but just to kind of give you a sense of if you haven't done this already, there's huge opportunity. If any of you have T12 lighting, please consider upgrading. So you can see Masters Condominium as a number, I think, as of 3 or 4 years ago they did this work. But you know, a simple payback under 2 years, right? So that's a very easy business decision to make. It improves tenant comfort. Yeah, I mean, there's really a strong business case to do these types of upgrades. And then LED lighting, and so Toronto Community Housing, you know, they've moved quite aggressively on LED lighting and focusing a lot of their common areas, parking garages, and there's also opportunities to combine in parking garages, particularly with sensors as well, so you can get some additional savings through the control. So this total of 31 projects and a pretty large investment, $1.3 million. But you can look at even taking out the incentive. It's a simple payback of 3 years, right? So these are very, very solid projects that should be on everyone's radar. Booster pumps, and so this is connected to that hydronic balancing program. All those pumps, all that equipment in your building, there are opportunities there. It could be as simple as installing a VFD on an existing pump, or doing a more rigorous analysis and identify there's opportunities to actually right-size the pumps and put in a variable frequency drive. So here's two different examples. In the top examples, they simply installed variable frequency drives, and you can see the savings, the incentive that it generated, and the savings. So under 2 years, very simple payback. CapREIT, again, they larger portfolio. They're moving more aggressively. This is just 8 of their completed projects. They're actually doing many, many more projects than this. These are just 8 I pulled out for the purpose of illustration here. But you can see the size of their investment and the savings that it's generating on an annual basis. And you know, this is real money that's flowing back to them. So, encourage you to think about these types of projects. And that's it. That's all I wanted to say. So come talk to us. We're here to help.
Good luck.
The RHB Insider Network is an RHB Inc. production. Publishers of RHB Magazine and the producers of RHB Newsreel.